Peaceful demonstrations in Charlotte last night gave way to tense standoffs. Protesters throwing rocks at police. You just saw flashbangs. Police also firing tear gas bullets to crowds. Now, the protesters responded to the death of George Floyd in police custody in Minneapolis. My colleague Blaine Tollison is in Uptown right now with a look at what happened after you went to bed. Now, Blaine, Charlotte was just one of several cities across the country that we saw with these violent protests.
Susanna, we've seen reports of protests pretty much all week long in Minneapolis since the death of George Floyd in police custody on Monday. And then two significant developments yesterday created this nationwide uproar. One was the release of new video showing Floyd's arrest, and also the officer who arrested him charged with third-degree murder. And then last night we started seeing protests across the country as far away as Portland, Oregon, and those protests turned violent in most cities, including here in Charlotte last night. I want to show you some video from Chopper 9 over Beatties Ford Road last night. This is what was recorded late into that protest. A line of police you could see geared up, making arrests even as some of those protesters became aggressive toward them there in West Charlotte. And this started as a peaceful protest about 6:30 in the evening outside of CMPD's Metro Division office on Beatties Ford Road, and it just escalated more and more into the night. Less than a mile down the road, we started seeing crowds at the University Park Shopping Center. People smashed windows. They went into a few stores there, a cell phone store, the Food Lion itself, and they did a lot of damage. They looted the inside of those stores. And then I spoke with my colleague Glenn Counts as I came in this morning, and he was right there for most of what you're seeing in the video. Here you're seeing a man jumping up and down on a vehicle. And Glenn said that police had a special unit go out before all of this unrest there in West Charlotte to speak with protesters much earlier in an attempt to keep what you're seeing from happening. But he said most of the protesters wanted nothing to do with them. In fact, they even got a hold of a CMPD officer's bike at one point earlier in the evening. And like I said, somewhat peaceful protests around roughly 6:30, maybe earlier, then rather quickly got out of hand. And we are hearing from Chief Kirkputney on this.
About 7:30 or so is when we started to have issues. We, about 8 o'clock, though, we had to start moving our officers out of the crowd because the crowd was becoming a bit more aggressive. We had rocks thrown at our officers, bottles were thrown at our officers. They smashed the window in the car, and at that point we deployed CEU. They stole a police bike, snatched it from one of our officers, so we had to go in and engage the crowd to maintain control.
We don't have the reports of any injuries or how many arrests police made last night. And I do want to say Chief Kirkputney also said that he's very unhappy with the situation in Minneapolis, saying that how the situation involving Mr. Floyd was handled puts a black eye on the police profession. And as far as the unrest in Charlotte last night, things did finally start to calm down early this morning. And I do want to say there are more protests planned for today. I'm going to get into that in the next half hour, as well as hear from Mayor Vi Lyles. And again, we'll have that in 30 minutes. Susanna?
Yeah, we'll be looking forward to that update, Blaine. Thank you. Well, police took several people into custody last night, including Charlotte City Councilman Braxton Winston. He and the others are charged with failure to disperse on command, which is a misdemeanor. Winston has since been released. Now, his fellow council member Larkin Eggleston tweeted about the protests. You can see right here. He says, "I love you, Charlotte. Please stay safe. Change must come, justice must be served, and people must be heard. Do not allow tragedy to beget more tragedy, though." Well, protests continued across the country last night, including in Minneapolis, where this all began. Take a look at this. Protesters set up a barricade using trash barrels, then set those on fire. Government leaders set up an 8 p.m. curfew this weekend for Minneapolis and neighboring St. Paul. 350 state troopers helped police to enforce this curfew, but people still were not following that. In all, about 50 people were arrested there. New video out of Atlanta this morning where protesters vandalized police cars and broke windows at the CNN Center. You can see people throwing rocks straight through that glass. Again, this situation started as a peaceful protest at Centennial Park before it became violent. Hundreds of National Guard troops have also been activated there to keep the peace. And the protests stretched all the way to California. New video this morning shows hundreds of people shutting down part of a freeway in Oakland. So let's get you caught up on what led up to last night's protests. Someone recorded video of Officer Derek Chauvin holding his knee on George Floyd's neck for several minutes before his death. Now, we're not showing you that disturbing video. Instead, we've chosen to show just a still image. Floyd said repeatedly that he could not breathe. Yesterday, before the protests, the officer was taken into custody on 2 charges, third-degree murder and manslaughter. None of the other officers at the scene have been charged as of now, but investigators say that more charges could be coming. All 4 of them were fired on Tuesday. Now, we've gotten a look at the paperwork that investigators filed when charging the officer. They say he had his knee on Floyd's neck for 8 minutes and 46 seconds. Floyd was unconscious and didn't respond for the last 2 minutes and 53 seconds. Part of the outrage surrounding this case is that despite the video, it took days for charges to be filed. Yesterday, the county attorney representing Minneapolis explained the challenges of charging an officer.
This is by far the fastest we've ever charged a police officer, okay? Normally, these cases can take 9 months to a year. We have to charge these cases very carefully because we have a difficult burden of proof. And let me just say something about that. We entrust our police officers to use certain amounts of force to do their job, to protect us. They commit a criminal act if they use this force unreasonably. We have to prove that beyond a reasonable doubt.
Well, you just heard him explain investigators still have to prove their case in court to a jury. And sometimes that's not as straightforward as it appears. Anchor Erica Bryant explains Charlotte has seen several use of force cases in the last decade that sparked outrage, but none of them led to an officer behind bars.
Jonathan Farrell, an unarmed black man, was shot and killed by a white officer, Randall Carrick, in 2013. Carrick's case ended in a mistrial on manslaughter charges. Governor Roy Cooper, who was the state attorney general at the time, declined to retry the case. 3 years later, Keith Lamont Scott was shot and killed at an apartment complex by a black officer named Brentley Vinson. Vinson was not charged. The district attorney determined Scott was armed and refused orders to put down the gun. And just last year, Danqueers Franklin was shot and killed by a white officer, Wendy Curl, in the parking lot of a Burger King. Investigators determined Franklin did have a gun, but police body cam video suggested he might have been trying to put it down when Curl fired. However, the district attorney did not pursue charges.
Jennifer Roberts served as Charlotte's mayor for part of that time period. She was out last night, making an emotional plea before those protests escalated.
We are leaving our black and brown neighbors behind, and it's not right. And we're seeing murder. We're seeing people lose their jobs. We're seeing them die of a virus because they don't have protection like white people have. It's not fair. And so I'm here to tell all the white people who are listening, stand with me. Stand up and support your neighbors. This is not right. It's not right.
Well, Charlotte City Council member Malcolm Graham serves the district that includes where people protested last night. He spoke about Floyd's death as well as the move toward violence last night in Charlotte.
Racism is real. Discrimination is real. Hatred is real. What we saw in Minnesota this week is real. In a democracy, people have the right to peacefully protest. What's occurring in our community, in my district tonight, is not that. It is anarchy.
And we're not going anywhere throughout all of this. We will continue to keep you updated both on air and online with every new development. You can also see any of our complete coverage anytime on our free WSOC TV News app.